NEK-TV Rocks, and my guest today is Mayor Beth Barnes. This is so cool. And you know what's even more cool? Your first day in office was International Women's Day.
I know. How
Isn't that
cool
great?
is that? Well, this whole thing is so exciting. And yeah, that was even more poignant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Although I didn't realize it until the end of the day
Ah.
when I looked at my mail and
Yeah.
noticed lots of people wishing me happy International Women's Day.
Yeah.
But that was completely perfect timing because I am a woman and I feel honored to be the mayor of Newport, and I really wanted to come on today to have a platform to say thank you to everyone who voted for me. I don't know who you are, but I know that you came out and you voted, and that's how we live and operate in a democracy.
Yeah, I was outside for a lot of that day, and people were really excited
I know.
who came, which was really nice.
I know. And I was excited too.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thought that I could be excited standing for 8.5 or 9 hours in 25-degree weather? I
Right.
have to say I am still warming up, and it's 2 days after the election.
Yeah, it was a little chilly.
But I got so much, this sounds silly probably, I got so much warmth from the people because
Yeah.
I saw what you saw, Pam,
Yeah.
is people were genuinely excited to be there. And it was
Yeah.
really nice for me to be standing side by side with Carl King and a little while with Nathan and Rod Owens. It was a
And some of the
community coming
people
together.
running for council
And the
too.
council members,
Yeah.
yeah, we were all out there. There was such friendly banter,
Right.
and it gave everybody who was coming to vote a chance to talk to all of us, and
right.
they did, despite the cold
Yeah.
weather. They stood and they talked to us.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was one lady who was there, and I've seen her before, and she said something asking me about one particular person who was running for council. And I pointed to where that person was, and she marched right over there. She said she needed more information before she could vote. It was great.
Yeah, that is.
That's democracy in action.
It completely is democracy in action. If I had to say one thing about the day, though, other than it being absolutely fantastic and energizing, I was disappointed to see how few people actually did come out to vote.
Right.
I think we have probably correct me if I'm wrong, Pam, close to 5,000 people
Yes, we
in the
do.
city. And it was just hovering around 500 people who came to vote.
That's right.
And I am so appreciative to those who voted, and even more appreciative to those who voted for me. But I think maybe next time we can do better, Newport.
Right. What do you think it will take to get people to come out and vote? More people.
I think it's a new era, for starters. Paul Manette, who served so long and
Yeah.
so well,
Amazing, isn't it?
has stepped down. And it was a really interesting field of candidates. And you'll probably agree with me, none of us were born and bred in Newport.
Right.
And I
Actually, one for the city council was.
Oh, sorry. I'm only speaking about the
mayor.
mayor's race.
Yeah,
I
yeah, that's
apologize
right.
for that.
You were all from
We're
outside.
all from outside, but we all bring our own experiences
Yes.
to Newport. And I think that might have been a difficult decision for people who are from Newport.
Right.
And one thing I want to say to the people who are from Newport and who have been here for generations, that I understand that that's our foundation.
Right.
I completely celebrate the generational feeling of Newport and the traditions.
Yeah.
And I have so many friends that are from here.
Right.
But I also think that we have to move forward into the future. And the future isn't just here in Newport. It's not just written in Newport. We need to find that equilibrium where we can use the past and we can look toward the future and just figure out what we want to do here in the present. And I value both ends of the spectrum.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is a town that's moving towards more integration.
Yeah.
The balance is changing, and in a good way.
Yes.
In a good way.
In the best possible
yeah.
way.
I mean, I can
Very
say
exciting.
with pride, I'm a foreign flatlander.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah, it is. It's all okay because, like I said, we all bring something to the table.
Right.
We all bring something. And I often say, wow, if everybody was the same in the world, what a boring old place it would be. So
I know.
that diversity is exciting for me.
Yeah.
I'm especially excited about the Rainbow Coalition that is
Yeah.
growing here in the Newport area. In fact, I'll be going to their meeting this evening.
Cool.
In an effort to learn more about all of our neighbors.
Yes.
And I want to visit everybody, all the organizations that we gave appropriations to when we all voted. I want to meet the people at the VNA and Pope Memorial and NEKLS, and I want to sit down with them and find out just exactly what they're doing in the community and how can I help? How
and
can
the
I be involved?
organizations who don't get appropriations, but who are still a really solid part of Newport, VFW and the other military
Yep.
groups.
The Legion, the
Yeah,
VFW,
exact Eagles.
the Fraternity of Eagles,
Right.
yeah, FOE. There are
So many
many
groups.
places that I need to visit, and I'm so excited
The
to visit.
Restorative Justice Group.
Yep, I have a meeting with them next
Excellent.
week, which is exciting, a meeting with their new director.
Yeah.
And I do want to put in a plug for the VFW. I went to their breakfast for the first time on Sunday,
They
and
do a great job.
the food was amazing, and the people that were there were
Yeah.
equally amazing.
Yeah.
I had such a great time. I can't wait for the next first Sunday. I think that's what it is.
Yes.
I think that's going to be a regular on my calendar.
Have you ever been to the Masonic breakfast?
Yes,
which is the
I
last
have.
Saturday.
Oh,
I love that breakfast.
So many breakfasts, so little
know.
time, you know?
Well, you know, there's 7
Yeah.
days a week.
Yeah. So so there's so many things happening in
Yeah.
the community, and I think a lot of times
Right.
it's probably human nature to say, oh, there's nothing going on, or
There's
we're so far
much
away from
stuff
anywhere.
in Newport.
Yeah,
It's-
I completely say the opposite.
Right.
There's so much going on, and there's always city council meetings too.
That's right.
Yep, and planning
That is
commission
exactly
meetings.
right.
Yeah.
And what about businesses in Newport?
Businesses, that is also exciting. I've already had a couple small businesses reach out to me.
Good.
Just to meet me, and
Yeah.
that is what I'm all about. Is I think that's probably my primary goal
And
or primary
not
role.
just Main Street, the quote designated downtown.
Yep.
Beyond that.
Yeah, I have met with businesses that are far away from Main Street,
Yeah.
but still within Newport proper.
Right.
Yesterday, on my way to a meeting at the municipal building, I actually stopped at Jasper's and introduced myself.
Good.
And they were thrilled. I had just missed the owner, so I'll have to go back
Christy,
again.
yeah.
Yeah,
Jasper's is
but
so much fun.
It is. The music there and the dancing and the pool, it is a lot of fun. But I think they were really surprised that I came in and said, hi, I'm the new mayor. I just wanted to introduce
That's
myself.
Great. That is so great.
Yeah, so I've definitely made the rounds on Main Street, and I stopped at the company that used to be Revision, and
Yes.
I'm not certain what the name is right now, but I stopped there
Mm-hmm.
prior to the election just to introduce myself, and of course, Built by Newport, stopped to talk to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
You've been to the bookstore. Nevermore.
oh
Books.
yeah, Nevermore Books. Not yet. That is on my list. Come
Good.
on,
It's
don't
such
push
a
me.
great place.
It is, and you know what? I completely applaud him because remember when it opened?
Yes.
And I think a lot of people said, "Oh, it's so off the beaten track.
No.
It'll never make it." And
It's a lovely
he's
place.
really built a following.
That's right.
A dedicated following, and
Great artwork on the walls
yeah,
there.
I really applaud him, and I will stop there.
And
Yes.
there's a computer store just around the corner where Subway is.
Yes, I have actually used their services.
And
Very
a great
good.
second-hand clothing
Yes,
store
great
there.
secondhand clothing. We've got, and the NEK, the NECA
Yes.
clothing store,
Yeah.
just resale
Of
store,
course,
just
on your
opened.
fantastic mayoral salary,
Mhm.
you won't need to worry about
No.
buying clothes at thrift stores
No,
anymore.
not at all, not at all. Yeah, I've realized that being
In
mayor
case
is not.
people don't know, I'm joking.
Yeah.
You don't get a salary.
It's not something that you do, for the money. It's something that you
Right.
do for the love. And
Right.
I think people have, some people have had a hard time reconciling why I would want to do that. And
Yeah.
I just didn't give it a second
Yeah.
thought. it's, sometimes we just step up to the plate.
Right.
And I really hope that I can take some swings and hit the ball
Yeah.
at the plate.
I mean, you and I have crossed paths in many different ways over probably the last 10 years.
10 years.
10
Yeah.
years. Yeah, 10 years.
10 years.
You've been here 10. And one of the things that I think a lot of people know you from, and somebody coming up to vote the other day mentioned, was the walking bus.
Oh, yeah, the walking school bus.
That was so much
Do
fun.
you remember we actually had a school bus?
Yes.
Jen Woolard made a school
I
bus.
do. It was
And
great.
we walked with it. And I want to do that again.
Walking Wednesdays, it was called. It was
walking
great.
or walk to school with the mayor, something like that.
Why not?
Yeah.
Paul Manette actually did come a couple of times,
Yep.
and so did
So
John
did John Wilson. Yeah. I really thought that was great fun.
Yeah.
I think it was a super way to get everybody involved.
Yes.
And I still maintain, and it is scientifically proven, that the kid that starts their day with some exercise performs
That's
a
right.
lot better in the classroom.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the kids loved it, didn't
Yes, they really did.
Yeah.
And so did the
think it's-
adults, and there were
yeah.
plenty of us.
they? I think it's about time to start
We're all
that
skipping
again.
along.
I know. I mean, with my vest and my stop sign, and
Yeah.
it's fun. I'd like to
It
do that
was.
again. That and so many more things I'd like to do. One thing I'd love to do, I'm going to backtrack a little bit when we were talking about how few voters actually turned
Yeah.
out. I would like to thank the voters that did turn out.
Yeah.
But one thing I've been thinking about for a long time, even before I decided to run for mayor, in the time that I substitute taught at the high school, I thought, wow, this is just a great place to register voters. I
Yeah.
wonder how I can do that as just a citizen. And now that I'm mayor, I'm thinking I would love to set a table up maybe once a month over at the high school,
Sure.
and maybe enlist a couple of the seniors over there to help me and register those students.
There's a group of teens there who are organizing all sorts of
Yeah.
things. They're wonderful.
It's a real dynamic group over
Yeah.
there. Yeah. So that is something that I would like to do. I probably
Yeah.
would have done it, mayor or no mayor.
Yeah. And I would bet as energy shifts, I mean, your sign says energize.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah.
And I bet as the energy shifts and comes up, I mean, we're coming out of COVID, we're coming out of EB5.
Yeah.
It was a lot of
Yeah.
back to back.
Yeah.
This can change, and
Yeah.
as we get energized, I bet more
Yeah.
people come out.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. I really am. And I just want to say that we have so many things to be proud of in Newport,
Yeah.
even though we've just come out of some difficult times.
We really have.
But yeah, and one of the things that I'm really excited about is the walk-in clinic on Main Street.
Yes.
That is so exciting to
and
me.
so necessary.
And so necessary, yes. And help me out here. What do you see as positive?
I see a lot of the changes on Main Street as positive. I see certainly that clinic. I see things like the walking path. Now, I'm a cross-country skier.
Me too,
And one
yeah.
of the things I know, one of the things I've complained about is people walking on the cross-country ski
Yeah.
trails. But it means they're out walking.
Yeah, yeah.
So people are energized. They're
Yeah.
following the farm
Yeah.
path. They're following it
Yeah.
into the city.
I do it frequently, yeah,
Yeah.
walk past your house. But I think that is a perfect example of people just needing to be retrained, because those cross-country
I know.
groomed ski trails are pretty new
Yes.
for a lot of people.
Right.
So until you learn the
Yeah.
etiquette of the trail, you're not going to know. But once you do know it, you're
Right.
going to know that these are the
Exactly.
ski tracks and this is
But
where
it
we
does
walk or
mean that
snowshoe.
people are out walking
I
and
know.
using the trails as
It's
opposed to not
very,
using them.
very exciting. And I'd like to see more people reaching out to their neighbors who might be housebound for
Yes.
whatever reason.
Yes.
I have a friend who brought somebody to the polls who wasn't
Yeah.
able to come themselves. And I just thought that was a great example of neighbor helping neighbor, and I'd like to see a lot
Right.
more of that. It just, sometimes I think that as humans we think, oh, I don't want to interfere, or I
Right.
don't want to stick my nose in. But I think sometimes just a phone call or a knock on the door and says, hey, would you like a ride to the polls, or would you like a ride to the first city council meeting? Hint, hint.
Is there champagne?
No, sorry, but there'll be entertainment.
Oh, okay.
But I think that that is another great thing about Newport is that we
Yes.
do reach out to each other.
Yes.
I think people might look at me and wonder if I'm for real, because I am very energized and I do have a lot of energy
Yes.
for Newport and for life. And I think, in all seriousness, I think the older we get, the more we appreciate the time that we're given.
Right.
And a lot of us feel that we really want to give back.
Right.
And this is my time to really, really give back in a big way.
And we feel we have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So previously things like day jobs got in the way or family commitments. But once we're sort of getting to the senior end of the spectrum, it's okay, what am I going to do with the rest of my life?
Yes.
What can I do that feels good to me and
Right.
hopefully does some good elsewhere?
And I was actually on the verge, I can tell you honestly, I was on the verge of, hitting 65. And it's kind of that number that you've been conditioned to think that you hit 65 and you're old. I was at that place where I thought, there's no place for me to contribute.
Yeah.
I'm invisible, which I know a lot of older people feel invisible, and loneliness is
Yes,
a real
it's
affliction.
real.
And then I
Absolutely.
thought to myself, I can either be here and I don't think I was really feeling sorry for myself, but I was feeling invisible, or I can go over here and I can do something, something big, something I've never done before. And luckily, I had the wherewithal to choose this one over here. Will I
Yeah.
live to regret it? Perhaps, but I don't
doubt
think
it.
so.
I doubt
I
it.
really don't think
I
so.
doubt it.
Yeah. So I would like also to, to be that beacon for other people who may have hit 65 or are approaching it or well beyond it.
well beyond
yeah,
it.
or well beyond it. We won't name names, and just say, "Wow, look what she's doing at 65." And I think
Or 75,
or
or-
75, or even beyond.
Absolutely.
We are just getting started, some of us,
Right.
and it's taken us this long, but it's because we've been laying the foundation for it.
Right.
Yeah. So
It's
here we are.
also what happens in community. We build community. You don't just suddenly disappear.
Yeah.
And community got shut down for a while. But it's coming back. We are coming back.
Reemerging. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think you and I, have a lot of similar thoughts, and I just hope that people will look at me and look at you and look at all of the others around them who are making a difference. For example, I went and had lunch in the basement.
So did
with
I.
The friendship
Wasn't that
circle.
good?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. And I said, well, what do you have to do to be a member of this club? And they said, be over 55 years old.
Yeah.
And
I qualify.
Yeah. I want to sign up because the reception that I got
I
was
know.
so genuine and so
Right.
generous that I
Thank
thought
you, Esther, and thank you, Colleen Mayhew, for that
for
fabulous
the broccoli.
food.
Oh yeah, for all of it. So
Yeah.
that's something that I would like to start doing on an ongoing basis. And I just came from a meeting at the municipal building, and there was something going on in the gym. It was all the pickleball players. So I
Oh,
poked my head
they're
in.
obsessed.
Yeah, and I
they're loving
said,
that.
hello, I'm the new mayor, and they were so sweet to cheer.
Yeah.
And so those are the great things that are going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, somebody posted something a couple of times the other day, wanting ping pong, table
Oh,
tennis.
that's a good one.
Yeah,
I like that too.
Exactly.
Right. So are you putting that on my plate?
Yes, of course I
Okay,
am.
awesome.
Isn't that what your plate is for us to shovel things
exactly.
onto it?
I like that idea though. Thank you to whoever
I don't
suggested
remember
it.
the name, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But the pickleball looks like a lot of fun. I'd love to play, but I am still working at Newport City Elementary as a sub.
You still have a day job,
Yeah, and they asked if, my new position meant that they were going to lose me as a sub, and I said absolutely not, because what a great place to keep your finger on the pulse,
Yeah.
in the schools.
Yes.
So I would like to find that place where I can hopefully devote 3 days to going into Newport City and spend 2 days I'll always be mayor, but, doing activities as mayor.
Right.
It's going to be a really fine line to walk to try to
Get a
find
balance,
that place where
yeah.
I can do all of it.
There's no rush. There
Yeah.
really is. And you can take as long as you need to fully get oriented.
Yeah. And I'm excited about the city council meetings. Is there something wrong with me? Because people can't understand my level of excitement. But to sit there in the mayor's chair is going to be a really prideful moment for me. And
I would think so.
looking out at people who may have grievances or people who may just want to come and see how I'm going to do as mayor. I want to put that invitation out there to everybody to please come on March 20th at 6:30 to the municipal building. I'd really love your support, whether they voted for me or not. Please come and see how it's going to go. I will be nervous. I'll be the first to admit. I'm sure I'll be nervous. I'm sure I'll make mistakes. I'm going to try so hard to get it right, but I'm flawed. I'm a flawed human being.
Perfection really isn't.
It's overrated, isn't it?
It's so overrated. And people really want you to do well.
Thank you.
It's not just about you. They want Newport to feel like home, to feel good.
Well, I said to a few people who were kind enough to send me, so many people sent me congratulatory emails, which I appreciate everyone. It's kept me up way later than I usually, I go to bed early. Well, not anymore. But the one thing I found myself saying to people, and it just seems to have organically come out, was, if I win, we all win.
Right.
Because I'm not running to serve me, I'm running to serve you. And that's going to be what keeps me going.
I mean, one of the interesting things that I see in Newport is we got knocked down. We really got knocked down. And as we've been coming back up, there are a couple of ways to go, one of which is building from the outside. And I think Newport's been really trying hard to do that. We're trying to attract people. We have all the flowers and the paths and et cetera, but that's building from the outside. And then there's feeding the inside, building from inside, so that we who live here feel so wonderful about it that we then pull more in from outside.
That's a really great way to put it, and I feel like you really can't have one without the other.
That's right.
That synergy of the outside and the inside working together is definitely a recipe for success, and I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah,
and the city has put together a plan, and a lot of that focuses on outside because it's a business-oriented plan, and that's fine. That's right.
And we need that. Yeah.
We absolutely need that. But the building the inside, that has to come from people like you who are on the hot seat.
We are doing that too.
Yes.
You and I see that every day. We've seen that over the last few years, despite the setbacks.
Right.
We see that's one thing about people that live in Newport. Right. We are resilient with a capital R. Yeah,
exactly.
Just one of the many things that I love about being here.
Yeah.
It took me a while to figure out what it meant to live in Newport. It was so different from what I was accustomed to. And I feel like just in the last couple of years, I really hit my stride. And everything started to fall into place. And I just see that it's in my own personal life. I see that relationship that I'm building with the city going from strength to strength. And I want to see that radiate into my relationships with businesses and people and neighbors and our neighbors in Magog.
Right.
I want them to feel what I'm feeling personally.
Right. And now that the border's open again, fully open,
Isn't that
it's much
exciting
easier
or
to
what?
do that.
Oh my gosh. We are so lucky to live on an international border.
I know. That was such a major attraction for us when we moved here.
Me too.
It really was.
Yes, I know. And then when it was closed, it's like,
it was awful.
Gosh, the pain of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just hope that I can instill in our neighbors over there that they are welcome, and we all, if we're neighbors, let's be friends.
I think they're getting that message.
I do too. I do too.
Throw a party for the mayors from over there.
I have been thinking about it, but, on my mayor's stipend, I'm not sure it would be much of a party, Pam.
Well, have a potluck.
I love potlucks.
Let's do communal.
Okay. Let's put a pin in that idea, as they say.
Yeah. No, I think there's a ton of ideas like
So
that.
many.
And they don't have to be quite as silly as and that's
I don't think
both
that's so
serious
silly,
and
actually.
silly, but I
Yeah.
think it can.
I mean,
come
I can
together.
see it right now that you've said it. I can see the gateway.
Yes.
And I can see a table full of international food.
Wouldn't that be great?
You know what? You're giving me some really great ideas. And ping pong tables set up.
Hey, I like table tennis.
Yeah.
Ping pong.
So, yeah. But in all seriousness, I think that is a really nice way to reach out to our
Yes.
neighbors for a start, or just, maybe an ongoing every 2 months. I think it would be
Something,
fun.
just something
Yeah.
that connects
And
us.
that's my forte. I love meeting people, and I have a gift for being able to meet people,
Mhm.
and I'm so grateful for that gift. I used to think everybody had it, but
No.
I don't think everybody does. So I want to use it for the greater good. I really do. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying I won't get knocked down
You will.
occasionally.
Of course you
I
will.
will. And my skin probably needs to be a little bit thicker. I'll be the first to admit that.
Mhm.
But I feel I have wonderful support
Yeah.
from friends that I already have and friends that I don't know I have yet.
Yeah.
So, but I want people to also feel comfortable enough to bring things to me that maybe are uncomfortable for them to talk about.
Right.
I'll have to be perfectly honest and say I am not a decision maker or a magician, but I can certainly try to find the right person to address their concerns.
Yeah, I think so much of what residents of Newport want is to feel heard and to feel that what they're asking for is reasonable and that it will be taken seriously.
Yeah.
And if it can be fixed, it will be fixed
Yeah.
at some point,
Yeah.
or at least a path towards it.
Yeah.
And if it can't be fixed, that you'll be honest enough to say that.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
why.
Yeah, and I think there's a big difference between listening and hearing.
Absolutely.
So I'm really hoping that I'll be
Yeah.
that hearing mayor, listening and hearing, not just the listening mayor. And I think I'm 2 days into it, and you know what, Pam? I feel like I'm off to a great start, but the road is long. I've said I feel like I'm standing at the very bottom of a very tall mountain, and I'm still looking for the trailhead. I'll find it.
But you're good at bushwhacking.
I'm good at my excuse me, my map and compass skills could probably use some work, but yeah.
That's easy to build on. And I also know that one of the things that you do for fun and relaxation is hike.
Yes. Go figure.
So, a little orienteering
Yeah.
here.
It's funny, I reached out to my hiking club friends in the Green Mountain Club, and I said, I'm going to make myself free on Sunday. I need a hike. So I'm going to go out and hike on Sunday, which, because I want to make sure that I don't get completely caught up in this new role.
Don't.
And miss out on all the wonderful people and
Yeah.
activities that I've been doing that make me happy and refresh me. So
Yeah, and that kind of energy then feeds you, and you can feed others.
yeah.
And it's a different perspective.
Yeah.
And a different perspective is really important, because in Newport or any other town, we can get a little insular.
Yes, we
little
can.
parochial.
Yeah, very.
So if you're talking to people from other communities outside, they can say things like, why are you doing that?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I have an event in Lindenville for the Green Mountain Club coming up at the end of
Yeah.
the month, and that'll be a great chance to tell people outside of our area
Right.
what's great about our area.
Exactly.
So that's the kind of outreach that was planned way before I
Yeah.
learned I was going to run for mayor, but those are the kind of outreach situations that I want to use. I do want to close, and maybe Kelby, who is so clever with editing, she can
She's
put
great,
this
yeah.
in the end, but I want to close by reiterating my thanks to everybody who voted for me, the thanks to everybody in the community for making it a community, but I also want to give a shout out to my brothers and sisters all around the United States, and I mean my sibling brothers and
Yeah.
sisters, who have been so supportive of me, and it has meant the world to me to be the little and big sister who they've all rallied around, and
That's really nice.
It has been a wonderful experience. I know there are so many family units here that live close to each other.
Right, and many of us don't have
I
that.
know, and it's something that I miss so much in my life. So this mayor's race just really brought us together in a way that nothing has ever really brought us together before. So
That's really cool.
It's been very cool and really uplifting, and it's going to also empower me. Their support's also going to empower me and make me a better mayor for the people that are here with me every day. Yeah.
It's great. Do you have the mayor's handbook yet? A guide?
No,
And
no.
then you're just going to have to write your own.
Yeah, but I have been signed up for a wonderful seminar put on through the Vermont League of Towns and Cities.
Yeah, that's
Very
great.
excited about that.
That's great.
And I also do want to share with everyone who's watching that I actually officially have my mayor's email address.
Cool.
So perhaps you can
And
put
what
that
is
on the
that?
screen. It's very easy, beth.barnes@newportvermont.org.
That's easy.
Beth.barnes@newportvermont.org. And you know me well enough, Pam, to know that when I say, please feel free to write
You
to
mean
me,
it.
that I
You
really
mean
mean
it.
it. And even if I have to stay up late at night or wake up early to answer emails, I will at least let people know that I got them.
Yeah. I would
Yeah.
also suggest that you say, give me at least 48 hours.
Okay, give me at least 48 hours, folks. Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to drown.
I already am, so
Oh,
that's
okay.
really great advice, and it's nothing personal. It's just that,
Right.
yeah, that it's right now it's overwhelming in
Of
the best
course.
possible way, and I am very driven to always want to do the best I can do right away. But I have to understand that I need to cut myself some slack in the beginning.
Right. And that learning is a process and you need time to absorb.
Yeah, and anybody who drives by me when they see me walking, just
Blow
know
their horn?
Yeah, just know that I choose to walk, and it would be really great to a couple people honked, not
Yeah.
honks,
Yeah.
but little toots on their horn,
Sure.
and waved to me today as I was walking into my meeting.
That's nice.
And that's my drug of choice.
Yeah.
To know that people are seeing me out in the community. So
Right.
please say hello, and if you don't know me but recognize me, please introduce yourself. Yeah.
That's really nice. That's a great
Excited.
invitation, and that's the perfect segue into saying thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I would like to do updates in the
Yeah.
future,
I would like that too, Pam.
and when there are sort of special projects that you're hoping to take on, this is a place you can do
Yeah.
that. That's what this community access station is about.
Thank you. I really appreciate the way you interview. It's very easy, and I feel that you ask all the questions that bring out the right
I
answers.
love doing this.
Yeah,
It's,
I can
it's
thank
so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming.
Thank
and
you.
That's it for
Okay,
today.
thanks.